Sighting in a rifle with a scope. If you just bought a new rifle scope, or you are planning your next hunting trip, you will need to make sure your rifle is a dialed-in tack driver. There is nothing worse than forgetting to be diligent before going on your next hunt. Sighting your rifle should begin with mounting the scope and getting your rifle bore sighted. If you already have bore sighted your rifle and you are just trying a different load or double checking your accuracy before your hunting trip, you will not need to bore sight your rifle again. Materials. While sighting in your rifle, you will need some tools along with the rifle scope you wish to mount. You will also need the ammunition you wish to hunt with. Other necessary items would be a bore sight that is an inexpensive item at gun shops or sporting goods stores, a pair of good binoculars, paper targets, a felt marker to identify bullet groups, a gun rest, and protective equipment like earplugs and safety goggles. Bore sighting. If you just mounted a new rifle scope, you will need to bore sight the rifle. You can get a sports shop or gunsmith to do this step if you do not own a bore sight. Bore sighting simply aligns the bore of your rifle with your scope. Sighting in is to align your scope and your rifle with the target. Once you locate an appropriate rifle range where you can test fire your rifle, set up a target at a distance of 25 yards and one at 100 yards from the place you intend to use as your shooting location. It is best to use a comfortable gun rest in order to reduce human error to the minimum. Sighting in at 25 yards. Remove the bore sight from the muzzle of your rifle, insert a round in the chamber, and close the breech. Take careful aim at the target and squeeze off 3 shots so you get a consistent reading. Just keep in mind to not overheat the barrel with excessive shooting, as that will ruin your accuracy and potentially your barrel. Open the breech, ejecting the empty shell, and make sure that the rifle is empty and racked before proceeding to inspect the target, using your binoculars or by walking up to it. If you have been able to hit anywhere on the paper, you are doing good, and just need to adjust for windage and elevation until you are centered at the 25-yard target. For most scopes, 1 click equals a 1/4 inch adjustment at 100 yards. If you are shooting low, adjust the scope elevation up so the bullet impact rises. If you are shooting left, adjust the windage to the right in order to move the bullet impact accordingly. Once the groups are centered in the crosshairs, you then may proceed to the 100-yard target. Dialing in at 100 yards. Next, proceed to sight your rifle at 100 yards. For the optimal big game hunting setup, you should know your point of impact and be confident enough to shoot accurately from 25 to 300 yards, which will be the range of most of your hunting shots. You will need to make elevation adjustments on your scope after shooting 3 shot groups, so that you hit approximately 2 inches above the bullseye at 100 yards, keeping the windage, left-right adjustments on dead center. For example, if you are shooting 1 inch low, you will need to raise your elevation adjustment 4 clicks up. As a rule of thumb, if you are shooting 2 inches high at 100 yards, you will be on target at 25 yards and 200 yards. This will allow you to aim in the exact same spot for a kill shot on animals up close to 300 yards with certain calibers. Just make sure you can shoot comfortably at long distances and know for sure where your bullet impact is before attempting those long shots in the field. Reference the bore sight. Finally, install the bore sight once again and make a note of the difference in the relationship of the crosshairs of your scope with those of the bore sight. This will help you readjust the scope in case the accuracy is thrown off by accidentally jarring the weapon at any time.